Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. So today I'm going back to my ranking of all of Steven Spielberg's movies that he's directed. I started that a little bit ago. It's a series I've been kind of doing. I did George Lucas already, and now I'm doing another big one, Steven Spielberg. Definitely one of the biggest directors of all time. Really wanted to do the series on talking about one of my favorite director of all time, really, is Steven Spielberg. So it's been great doing that. I actually was planning on doing a different thing today. I was going to do a live stream with Breyer from Breyer's Music Showcase. He was going to come on to my 20 questions this afternoon, but I wasn't able to get to it because I went to the dentist earlier today and had some cavities filled, and my left side of my face was just totally numb. And I found out that you can't really talk when you're half of your face, you can't feel it, and your mouth doesn't really move, and you're just talking outside one side of your mouth. It's very odd. And so I had to cancel that, unfortunately. And but we are going to do that, looks like on the 19th. So we rescheduled that one. So and it's late night because I just got done watching KU barely win in overtime their first game of the Big 12 tournament. So yeah, this is kind of plan B. Go through more Steven Spielberg. We are now at top 25 Spielberg movies out of 33 movies. So we'll try to get as much done as we can in this video. Let's get to it. All right, starting with number 25. These are still some movies I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest, of Spielberg's. And we're gonna do number 25. We're gonna go with Hook. Yes, the Peter Pan story with Robin Williams as Peter Pan, as an adult Peter Pan, who has to come back to Neverland to save his kids who are kidnapped by Hook, played by Dustin Hoffman. And it kind of deals with, Peter Pan finally grew up and, and had kids, he got married, had kids, and he became kind of a workaholic and not at home with his kids, not being a good father and just being all about making money, so like that. Everything Peter Pan was against, and that's what we see here in this movie. Yeah, so it's definitely a interesting fantasy idea of like what happened to Peter Pan after the Peter Pan movie, I guess, live action movie. And I remember I didn't see it in this movie theater, but I saw it on TV pretty soon after it came out in the 90s period. I mean, great cast. I mean, even got Julia Roberts playing Tinkerbell, which is huge at the time. At the time, I loved this movie. It was probably one of my favorite movies as a kid. And I think that's because there's a lot of the Lost Boys, whatever, they're kids. And definitely a lot of immature humor and obnoxiousness of the kids. Unfortunately, as I've gotten older as an adult, I don't like movies with kids that are immature and obnoxious. And so I really don't like the humor in this movie with the kids, especially when you get to the Neverland, the kids and everything. The movie's a bit too long. The whole story with him and his son and Hook is like trying to be like a father to to Peter Pan's son. It's a weird storyline. Robin Williams is a weird choice to play Peter Pan because Robin Williams is known for, he's a good actor. So, I'm not saying that he gives a bad performance, but I don't know, it's just a weird choice for getting a really comedic actor like Robin Williams to play Peter Pan. It doesn't really fit too well. Dustin Hoffman actually does a really good job as Hook, though. I will say, I do like that. I like the guy who plays Smee, Bob Hoskins, I think. He does a really good job there as well. And sword fighting is actually not bad. There's actually some pretty good sword fighting scenes in here. Overall, though, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like the humor. Like I said, it's a little too long. I don't know. Not into the story, so it's here at number 25. Number 24, I have The Adventures of Tintin. And this is like the only animated movie I think that Spielberg did. And this was somewhere in the 2000s. And to be honest, I don't remember much about this movie. I saw it like one time on TV, I think on, whatever, some streaming channel. And I never heard of Tintin, I guess. That was like an old, I don't know if it's a cartoon series or what it was. It's definitely one of those things where Spielberg wanted to, revitalize this like old cartoon series. Maybe he liked as a kid. I don't know. The animation is very good. It's stop motion kind of animation. So again, it's like an adventure movie, I think, with animation. Again, I saw it one time, don't remember anything about it, so that's why it's up here at number 24. Just I don't really remember much about it, but I thought it was like, just okay, but very forgettable movie. Number 23, I got War Horse, which is one of the oddest movies to get nominated for Best Picture from Steven Spielberg. Yeah, this got nominated for Best Picture. And it deals with a horse that goes through, I think, World War I or something like that. And like World War I soldier gets attached to this horse, but then the horse, they part ways, and the horse goes through different people, and then gets back to the original owner, if I remember right. And it's going through the war. A pretty good cast, though. I think Benedict Cumberbatch has a small part here, and the guy who plays Loki, I believe, has a small part here, if I remember right. Anyways, it's just an okay movie, not really Best Picture worthy. Not a lot to say to it. Not again, it's somewhat forgettable movie. Again, it's not a movie I'll go back to ever out of his movies. So it's here at number 23, War Horse. Number 22 is Empire of the Sun. Actually, this is a movie I just saw recently. It's maybe the last movie I saw to complete my list of every Steven Spielberg movie. It's one of those movies that I never really hear much about. I've heard that this is, and I've seen like clips of Christian Bale as a kid, and the pilots going over, the planes going over, and he's like obsessed with planes. Like I've seen a lot that stuff. I didn't know a lot about this movie. It just doesn't seem like one of those Spielberg movies that people talk about a lot. Like it wasn't a huge hit for him and didn't get nominated for anything, so it kind of disappeared over time. It's just one I never seen on TV or knew enough to care about to watch it. It's finally I got down to watching this, and like overall, it's a very intriguing story. And Christian Bale, oh my gosh, Christian Bale's just a kid. Man, he can act. I mean, he's today one of the best actors working today, one of my favorite actors. Even as a kid, though, man, he was such a good actor. He's just born to be a great actor, I think, ever since he was a kid. Like, overall, good performance by him. Overall, the movie is very, I mean, it's all about this English, boy. His parents are pretty rich, and they're living in China, and Japan is taken over during World War II, whatever. Japan kind of attacks and kind of takes over parts of. I think maybe they're in Hong Kong or something. I can't remember, but Japan's like going to war with China basically, or if I remember right. And so they have to get out of there, him and his parents, but they get separated because there's a lot of people are trying to get out at the same time, so they get separated. He ends up staying behind by himself, and he has to try to survive as a kid in a war torn China with Japanese occupation. I mean, gosh, pretty scary. I mean, if that's a true story, what a crazy true story that this kid survived. He meets like John Malkovich. John Malkovich is kind of a scam artist or something, but he kind of comes friends with him, and they kind of survive through through a camp. They had to live in like some kind of camp in bad conditions. Weirdest one is Ben Stiller. A young Ben Stiller is in this movie, which really surprised me. I was like, wow, a young Ben Stiller and not playing a comedic role. The movie it seems like it's a long movie. It does drag a bit, I think, but it's shot very well. I mean, obviously, you can see where Spielberg's genius is. Definitely very shot very well. It's kind of an intriguing story. Throughout the movie, I'm kind of like, I want to get this. I want to see this kid, survive. And how's this kid going to survive? Is he going to get back with his parents? And all that. Anyway, so it's a very intriguing movie where you're just on the edge of your seat, going like, what's going to happen to this kid? It's an okay movie. I don't know if it's one I'd go back to necessarily, but definitely intriguing movie, and one I think worth probably a watch if you haven't seen it. And that's Empire of the Sun here at number 22. Number 21, I got a classic, but I'm not a huge fan of it, and that's E.T. The extraterrestrial. As of course as a kid, I watched this and I liked it. I think because, of course, it was interesting the design of the alien ET. There's some funny moments here, and it stars kids. I think as a kid, I like that. It's obviously iconic, ET phone home and uh, the riding over the bicycle, over the moon with ET in the basket. lots of good stuff there. As an adult, I think it's a kind of a boring movie. I get pretty bored with this one. This is one I never go back to and watch ever. It's just, I remember last time my family was like, "Hey, ET, let's watch this," and I'm like, "Okay." And we watching it. I think we quit watching it like halfway through because we all got bored watching it, and we switched to something else, and we didn't finish it. And that's why I feel like uh, just a little too slow moving for me. So it's here at number 21, ET. I know it's like it was one of the biggest box office movies of the '80s, but for me, not as big fan. Number 20, I got Munich. Munich, another Best Picture nominee for Mr. Spielberg. And this deals with the aftermath of the Munich terrorist attack in the 1972 Olympics and the Mossad, I guess, which is like the Secret Service, it's kind of like a secret agents or something of Israel, try to find people that were involved in the terrorist attack and kill them, basically, almost like secret spies or something that go around assassinating, these operatives. Um, it's an interesting idea of a story. It's based on a true story. I don't know. The movie, I'm just not as big on it, even though I like the whole story. And there's some, I think Daniel Craig's in this before he was Bond. There's one line that actually I think about all the time when I see that after I've seen that movie. I've only seen it once, but one guy says, he can't go through with all these. They keep killing. They're kind of tired of trying to assassinate new operatives that keep coming up, and they kind of just want to go home. And one guy says, like, if I keep doing this, I'm going to lose my soul. And I always thought that was a cool line, and I always think about that during different parts of my life. I always think, if I don't want to do something, I always think, I can't do it because I'm afraid I'm going to lose my soul. Anyways, besides that, it's a very uh, dark, kind of disturbing violence at times type movie. Not really a happy movie. I think the thing I don't like about it, it doesn't really end in any kind of happy. Everybody's miserable, it seems like, at the end, and some of the good guys die. I'm forgetting the name. Eric Bana is the main actor here. It's just not a pleasant movie, I guess, overall. And so that's why it's here at number 20. It's made very well, obviously. Again, acted well, shot well. Just, I don't know, didn't really feel. And Jeffrey Rush is also in it. Just wasn't super satisfied with the ending here. So Munich at number 20 on my list. Number 19, I got the remake of West Side Story. Yeah, another weird choice for Spielberg, who's never done a musical in his life, never known for musicals, and then does a remake of a masterpiece musical. It's already a great musical that won Best Picture in '61. It's one of those musicals that didn't need to be redone, though. I think that's my main problem with this movie, is I think the original 1961 is a much better movie than this remake. I think it's acted better. I mean, Steven Spielberg shoots is obviously a great director. He shot the heck out of it. It's very well directed, I think. The dance choreography is good. I don't know. It just doesn't touch the first one in uniqueness, I think, and I don't know. I just don't think the acting is as good. I like the original actors a lot better, in my opinion. Um, it's a good story with good music, obviously. So I'm still giving it a 3.5. I'm still giving it 3 stars. I'm giving it a light recommend because it's very shot very well. It's a classic, musical. All that. It's just especially the guy who plays Tony. I think the main guy. I thought he did a terrible job, and he got Rachel Zegler here, which I hate. So it's some good and some bad. But West Side Story here at number 19. Number 18, I got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, you might think this should be low on the list. I don't think this is the worst movie ever. I remember when it came out, I was very excited. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. All right, we got another Indiana Jones movie. Even though Harrison Ford's a little bit older, he still was, you know, not too old, I guess, to play the part and, be a little adventurous. Plus, you got, Shia LaBeouf coming in to kind of the uh, younger, version of Indiana Jones. Um, yeah, it's overall, it's again, there's some fun here. I think there's some fun action sequences. Um, it's got all that. Harrison Ford's still great. Indiana Jones still a great character. I just think the story was not that strong compared to the other Indiana Jones movies. And I guess spoil the movie, but the Crystal Skull is an alien. And once we found out that the whole Crystal Skull thing had to deal with aliens, it just felt like, really, aliens? I don't know why. Something about once you find that out, I think the whole crowd groaned in the theater. We're all like, oh God, not aliens. Like, I know all their movies are very supernatural and there's a lot of crazy things that happen, but I don't know. Aliens was like a step too far. We're like, I don't want a story about aliens. It just seems too out there for some reason to me. I don't know. It just hit me the wrong. So that's why I kind of came away not happy with this movie. Plus, it seemed a little too CGI. There's a lot of CGI in here, and the action just not as good as in the other movies. But it's not a terrible movie. I think it's still got some fun in it, and it has a better. This is way better than Dial of Destiny. Dial of Destiny is just pure crap. That was not directed by Spielberg. This is definitely the weakest of the Indiana Jones movies that Spielberg directed, but there's still some fun and there's a good ending to it, I think, as well. So I have it here at number 18. All right, number 17. This is a movie that's really hard to decide where to put it. I put it here, and that is Schindler's List. Um, it's a hard movie to rate for me because obviously it's a masterclass movie in directing and a really hard really hard to watch, troubling look at the Holocaust that I've never seen before or haven't seen since. Um, it is the kind of Holocaust movie. I mean, he definitely made I don't want to say the best, but it's hard to say best because it's such a terrible genre. You know, Holocaust is such a terrible thing. But I don't think anybody's made a movie about the Holocaust better than what Spielberg did here. Obviously, it won all the Oscars for a good reason, including Best Picture, Best Director for Spielberg. I mean, John Williams' score is amazing. Acting is great. All that. It's just that it's so hard to watch. That's the only reason why I have it at 17. Obviously, I can see people having it at number one or having it in their top 10. It's definitely, the quality of the movie is definitely good enough to be really high on the list, but I couldn't put it higher than 17 just because I'll never watch it again, and I never want to watch it again, and I don't want to think about it because it's just too disturbing a movie. Yet, I understand the importance of it, that we don't want to forget the Holocaust happened, and watching it, maybe if you watch it once in your life, you'll get some sense of all the horribleness of the Holocaust and the Nazis and all that. But one time's enough for me. It's just too disturbing of a movie to go back to. So I have it here at number 17. Number 16 is, I have it here for the exact same reason, actually, and that is Saving Private Ryan here. 16 again. It's probably the best shot World War II movie I've ever seen. Yeah, bar none. It is an incredible account of World War II and especially D-Day and the getting on the beaches. You know, that scene is just never seen anything like that before. I mean, I remember when this movie came out, that's what everybody was talking about. I didn't see it in the movie theater, of course. I saw it like later on TV, like on Memorial Day, and they showed the whole thing with, you know, all the violence and everything when I was like a teenager. And I remember when the movie came out, everybody talked about all the violent scenes at the beginning when people are getting their heads blown off or shot or people's guts are coming out of their, you know, people are lit on fire. I mean, I remember just thinking, oh my gosh, this sounds horrible. But one day I was like, I need to watch this. I don't know. And so I watched it and I was like, one thing, man, that first, 20, 30 minutes is the best part of the movie because it seems like you're really there. Like I've never seen a movie like that about war where I felt like I was there, you know, and just it was scary, it was anxiety driven, it was stressful watching it and going, oh my God, like you don't know what's gonna happen at any moment. Yeah, absolutely incredible filmmaking. The movie shot so wonderful. The cinematography, I believe it won cinematography. It did not win Best Picture, though it should have. Won Best Director, of course, for Spielberg. Great performance, of course, from Tom Hanks. Best Acting nomination there. Man, cinematography is so good. It's one of the best cinematographies I've ever seen in my life. So there's a lot of good things to say, but it is a very disturbing movie. And there's some scenes that haunt me to this day that I just can't get out of my head. It's just so disturbing and haunting in my mind that I can never watch this movie again. So again, it's like, man, what a well-made movie. But man, it's just too disturbing of a movie for me to go back to. So that's what I got here at number 16. Number 15, this movie I believe was number one for Andy from Forgotten World of Movies, who did a ranking of all the Spielberg movies. And I hope he's watching this because giving you a lot of, I enjoyed seeing your list. So I hope you enjoyed seeing mine. And we agree on a lot of stuff. This movie, I think, at number one. I have it at number 15. That is Jaws. Yeah, Jaws. Obviously, it's like his only second movie, and it was like Best Picture nominee. I mean, and it was the biggest box office movie like ever, and it basically revolutionized summer movies, where all your big blockbuster movies come out in the summer. So yeah, it's a groundbreaking movie for a lot of reasons, and iconic, obviously. I've only seen this movie probably once when I was younger, and yeah, Jaws is scary. I mean, that shark is scary as heck. I don't know why. I'm not big on shark movies though, and that's why it's only at number 15, and why not, number one like it is for Andy. Obviously iconic. I don't know. I've never been like huge on this movie. It's obviously very well made, and the Jaws when it comes out the end, yeah, they did a good job making it scary. I guess sharks to me, I don't live by the water. I live in Kansas. I live in the middle of the country. Uh, I've never seen a shark in my life. Never will probably. I stay out from the ocean. It's like if you don't want to get eaten by a shark, just don't go out in the ocean. And so to me, it's like not that big of a deal. Obviously, they're on a beach here, and this big great white shark is killing people. But obviously, the last part again, I haven't seen this movie in such a long time. I don't remember everything, but that last part with the three main characters, good acting too. You got Roy Schneider, I believe. I'm not gonna remember everybody's name. Is it Bradshaw or what's his name? Shaw, and it's Shaw or whatever is in there. Now I'm forgetting the other guy's name. But anyways, the three actors at the end, that's definitely an iconic moment. And the shark, tearing down that boat, and of course that scene where he says, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." Yeah, great stuff. And the way they get rid of the shark at the end, very thrilling. That's why I got here at 15. It does have some good thrills. It's a very well made movie, but I'm just not into shark movies, so it's not more higher than that. 15. All right. Number 14, we got Close Encounters of a Third Kind. This is a movie I remember seeing as a kid. I think my dad was a big fan of this movie. And so I remember watching, I watched it several times, on TV. I was intrigued by the aliens, always intrigued by aliens, and some kind of invasion. And yeah, so the moments when the aliens are kind of, the spaceships come in, I always thought that was really cool. And the moment when they kind of kidnap that one kid, I always thought that was a really thrilling, scary scene as a kid. A lot to remember. Again, here's the same actor that was in Jaws. I'm forgetting his name again. Richard Dreyfuss. That's it. Richard Dreyfuss, who's in Jaws, and he's in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Um, Richard Dreyfuss really good in this. You got the famous mashed potatoes uh, into the what's it called? I'm forgetting. I've been there many times actually. In Idaho or not Idaho in Wyoming. The tower. Now I'm forgetting it. But anyways, yeah, and then the end with the bum 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 bum. There's definitely some iconic moments. I have some nostalgia for this movie. I will say I haven't seen it in a while, and I feel like last time I saw it, I thought it was a little slow moving at times, so it's not any higher than this, but still a classic Spielberg movie here. At number 14, Close Encounters of a Third Kind. Number 13, I have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That second movie, I got a lot of problems with this movie, and I've seen some people like I think Andy. I think this is his favorite Indiana Jones movie, and I've heard some people say there's a favorite. And I'm like, nah, gosh, this is not my favorite at all. It's my third favorite, maybe out of the five. It's out of that trilogy, it's my least favorite out of the trilogy, basically. I don't know. I think it's because it's more satanic than the other ones. It deals with like the satanic cult, and you got some very dark imagery. It seems very dark, and it's very gross. I think it's my one of my biggest problems is it's so gross. There's scenes that to this day I have to skip over. I can't watch the scene where the dinner scene in India. It's way too gross for me. That's actually the grossest moment. Oh, and then the part with the bugs. Bugs. I hate bugs. Bugs, spiders, anything crawling creeps me out. And there's a lot of bugs crawling on people. Oh my gosh, I can't watch it. It just bothers me so much. And also, I think as two of the most annoying characters I've ever seen, uh, and I forget, I'm not remember the name, but the love interest in the movie, Indy. Oh, the way she says the name. Oh my gosh, she's just so whiny. And she would marry Steven Spielberg, the actress. In this short round, I loved as a kid. I thought that was so cool. Like, oh man, it's Ki Kwan, who's now an Oscar-winning actor, which is kind of cool. And I just saw a movie with him in it. Love her. So it's crazy what the actor went through. But just talking about this movie, I thought Short Round was an annoying character. I mean, I loved him as a kid. Now I think it's just annoying character. I don't like Short Round anymore. There are some great moments though. The action is good. The thrills are good. I mean, the bridge scene. I mean, yeah, so iconic. Him breaking that and we going for a ride. Yeah, Short Round says. I think to their. Yeah, great moment. And there's some other stuff like when the wall's coming down on them and he has to grab his hat at the last second. Yeah, classic Indy. But because of the grossness and the annoying characters is here at number 13. All right, number 12 is Amistad, which is another movie I just saw recently. Yeah, this is one of those movies. Again, I think because of the shot, it deals with slavery and it does have some disturbing moments in the movie, is why I kept away from this movie for so long. But so this is definitely one of those last movies I saw, and overall, I thought it was a really good movie. Obviously, very well acted, great cast. I mean, Morgan Freeman's in here, of course. What's his name? Anthony Hopkins gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor in this movie. Matthew McConaughey is in here as well, and a lot of other great, really good. Digimon Hansu, whatever, kind of his first big role. Yeah, it's a courtroom drama basically, and it's really good courtroom drama, and I love good courtroom drama. But anyways, I like of course, whole subject matters is what do we do with these slaves? They took over a ship, mutinied the ship, and now we have them, and what do we do with them? Very intriguing case. I'm guessing based on a true story. It was based on a true story because Amistad, it was the name of the boat. Yeah, so great court case and some great dramatic moments. And then there's one scene when it came up. I'm like, oh God, here's the scene where we're gonna see how we're gonna see their journey on the ship. Yeah, and it's really disturbing and it's horrible because you see how terrible these slaves were treated, and it's a horrible thing what we did to the slaves in this country and in other countries. Just a horrible thing to do to people, to uh, enslave, torture, abuse, people. It's such a horrible thing. And you get that. Again, it's a good thing to see this maybe movie once just to get an idea of like, okay, this is, the true reality of how bad slavery was and why it was a bad thing, and why it's a good thing we got rid of it, and why we should never have something like that happen again. And we should never forget the past, that kind of thing. So it's really great for that moment. But I'll say this is a movie I wouldn't mind watching again. I might skip over the disturbing moments because it's like I've seen it once. I don't really want to see a lot of disturbing moments again. But it didn't hurt this movie like it does Saving Private Ryan or Schindler's List. I think it's only one scene. You can kind of get through it. And the rest of the movie is just a really good courtroom drama. So yeah, very solid movie here at number 12, Amistad. And I'm going to end with number 11 here. Hopefully I have enough time on my clock. I can get this in. I got through quite a bit today, so I'm happy. But number 11, I have Bridge of Spies. This also nominated for Best Picture, and I was real excited because I mean Spielberg, Tom Hanks, come on, my favorite director, my favorite actor. How could you go wrong? Overall, it's a very solid movie based on a true story of a lawyer who's trying to negotiate the freedom of a pilot that was American pilot. I believe he was captured over in Russia or whatever, or Germany, or whatever it was. I'm forgetting now what country they're dealing with. But yeah, so it's an interesting true story. Tom Hanks, great performance by him. Uh, really intriguing movie about, yeah. And also a great performance by Mark Rylance. First time I've seen him in a movie. He won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Really good performance by him as well. And overall, in the ending, it kind of shows, the terribleness of communism. And when he comes back home, he just, kind of almost PTSD over seeing some horrible stuff happen over in the communist country. And I like that part of it. And yeah, it's just a solid story, solid movie by one of the great directors and great actors. So I have it here at number 11, Bridge of Spies. And so I'll end here. Hopefully I can get this all in my store and my storage here. My iPhone keeps running out of storage. Besides that, tell me what you think about these movies. Which ones are your favorites? All that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking it. And just thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. Appreciate y'all.